morning. Good morning, folks. Good morning. No, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Depending on where you are in the world, you could be in the Caribbean. Well, those of you in the UK, good morning, all right? Those of you in the Caribbean, those of you in America, and even if you're listening from Australia, it's good night to you. So good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you may be in the world. I'm welcoming you to the Message Talk Show. Now, remember, it's Thursday, 11 o'clock. So what is the only thing you do on a Thursday? No, not just your breakfast, not just your coffee, not just your tea. No, it's the Message Talk Show with Alex Gordon. Come on, tell me, man. Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Get a cup of coffee, guys. Dial your friends, call them, and say, listen to the Message Talk Show. This is going to be amazing today. We have an amazing guest in house. It's going to blow us away with her understanding and knowledge and her passion for helping changing our community and our world. So guys, press the share button now. I'm telling you now, press the share button, press the subscribe button. So next time you get notified when the show starts. So guys, I have an amazing guest in house. Lola, can you say hi to the world?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Alex. I'm absolutely delighted to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Wow, Lola is excited about being on the show today, and you must be excited today listening to the Message Talk Show. So guys, let's kick off with just saying welcome to you guys. The Message Talk Show broadcast on a Thursday, 11 o'clock. So we believe that passion and mission-centered individuals and entrepreneurs are the ones who are going to change the world. We work with those kind of people to go from not known to unforgettable. Why? Because in this time and in this marketplace, you need to be unforgettable. When people hear you, they must think, wow, that's an amazing person. So we need the passion to come out. We need whatever you've got to hit the world running. So we work with small business owners. We work with entrepreneurs just to get them started, just to get them out there speaking and sharing their vision, sharing their message for the future. So tune in to the Message Talk Show on a Thursday, 11 o'clock with host Alex Gordon. So what did I say today? The title today is How to Position Your Mind so that you're employable. How to recondition your mind so that you're employable. How to change your mindsets for the employment market today. Why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? Well, about 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with this lady. And when I had a conversation with this lady, she just blew my mind. She made me really rethink about what entrepreneurs and what businesses are looking for in today's job market. Now, before I go there, let's just get a message from the sponsor.
You are listening to the Message Talk Show and podcast. Do you believe you have something to share? Do you believe you have something to contribute? Do you have a story to tell the world, to share with your community? Gandhi said, man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So join us on the Message Talk Show and podcast with host Alex Gordon.
And so we have it. We've been going through a very stressful time for the past 3, 4, probably 6 months now. People have been furloughed from their jobs. People have been working from home. People have lost their jobs. People are in a number of different conditions. And people have died. We've lost loved ones during this time. Very stressful, very unknown quantities. We've never been here before. We've never walked this path before. And for those of you in your 80s and 90s, you've probably seen several recessions that you've been through. But for those of you who've just entered the job market, you've probably never seen a recession. You've probably never seen difficult times. You've probably never seen what you're going through right now. And therefore, the job market that we are in requires a different mindset, a different kind of person. And that's why I have in-house today a lady by the name of Lola K. Adesanya. Lola, tell us your story.
Okay, thank you very much once again for having me. This topic has never been more relevant as we seek to make sense of the future within the landscape of uncertainties and profound change. We've had Brexit, then we're talking about the global pandemic crisis, and this is, more or less crumbling many businesses, and people have lost their jobs. Many people are uncertain about what the future holds, and really, really sad about many lives that have been lost to COVID. The impact on many businesses, individuals, institutions, they're on their knees. And for me, we've got to put a positive, spin on it. There are some signs of recovery, and the process needs to be owned by everyone. How do we reposition ourselves back into reality? And I'm not sure whether there's ever going to be what reality is going to be looking like in the next 6 to 12 months. So my challenge to everyone is let's come together. If we know of any opportunities within our network of contacts, let's begin to share it out there and making sure that we're looking after one another. One of the key things I want to kind of shed some lights on is, talking to many businesses, talking to many chief executives. Businesses are beginning to look at changing their operating models, and this is in response to the global crisis. A lot of businesses are starting to explore restructures, streamlining their processes for efficiency, making financial cuts, and this is going to affect the employment landscape, and people are losing their jobs. Many people have been furloughed, many people are working from home, and the positive that is coming out of this is that people are coming out with a change mindset. I've seen people setting up their new businesses, which is great for us. Outside of COVID, the potential impacts in terms of, changes to, advancements in robotics, artificial intelligence, that's a completely different topic, which is a fierce debate. I won't be going into that. But if you look at artificial intelligence, in many industry sectors, many roles have diminished, and a lot of skill sets are no longer required. So this now brings me to the to the question of how are we, everyone, how are we repositioning ourselves, and in terms of the employment landscape. So people need to become more innovative. People need to come up with creativity. They need to start taking hold, in terms of managing their careers, ensuring that they're constantly raising their A game and growing with technology.
This is amazing, because what you're talking about is, you just mentioned that people have come with a change mindset. Businesses are coming out with a change mindset. When we talk about change, what are we really talking about then when we talk about change?
When we're talking about change, change has to come from within. It has to come with a, attitude change. It's got to come with passion as well, because if you want to make a change, you have got to be driven. You have got to be ambitious. And you become unstoppable, really. And some of the changes that I've been looking at involves engaging with some of the younger generation, which, I will come into at some point during the course of our discussion today.
What we're talking about here, and one of the things I asked you was, why are you so passionate about helping young people, especially? Because it's not so much about the older generation, it's about the young people navigating themselves within this job market, within this employment sector. We've never been here before, they've never seen this before. So everything they've been taught at university, coming out into the job market, it's totally different. But why are you so passionate about this?
Alex, this is an area that is so close to my heart. The last 2 decades I've been in the employment space, and I have seen struggles of many graduates who have worked so hard during the course of their education. Some have come out with first-class degree, and some even with master's qualification. The challenge for most of them is the lack of confidence. Some of them do lack the basic skill required to position themselves, and also to identify the suitable career pathway for them. I was looking at some recruitment survey results. and you'll be shocked to see the figure. 7% of hiring managers said that nearly all or most candidates have the right mix of skills and traits that companies are looking for in a new hire. However, most of them aren't conveying this effectively, and that is such a real shame. And
what did you say there? You said 7%.
7% of hiring managers
believe that graduates have the necessary skills.
That they have but they just don't know how well to articulate themselves. And that's
talking about. But we're talking about graduates who've gone through programs. We're talking about what, 50,000 pounds being spent at university?
Absolutely.
In total to educate a generation?
Yeah,
and they're unable. Why is that?
It's for me, the gap here is that the focus is mainly around the education, the academic education, and people do not have a clear career pathway, a clear career plan. And you've got to have a plan, just as you have a structure for your formal academic qualification, whereby, from preschool to primary education, to secondary education, to A-levels and to higher education. The same way that we must make sure that our younger generation have a clear plan for their career, for their future plan, they've got to have this in place, because if you don't, then you suddenly find yourself at the age of 21, you've not had any work experience whatsoever, no internship. So it's absolutely important that we catch them young. By the age of 14, 15, when they're thinking about selecting their GCSE subjects, we need to start engaging with them, get them to complete like personality profiling, whereby we can identify their strengths, their weaknesses, and then start to get them to explore what are the suitable career options that they need to start thinking about. Start working with organizations, entrepreneurs, get them to pick up work experiences, internship, and that is the place that I would like to get our younger generation.
Wow, but so now you've gone back to 14 and 15 to start preparing them before they go to university.
Absolutely, and for me, this younger generation, they're very, very smart, Alex. At the age of 14, they have Instagram page, and their social life is absolutely heavy. And
they have better social lives than you and I trust you. Tell you that.
Absolutely. And what I say to them when I meet with them is, do you have an Instagram page? And then you can see their face lit up, and they'll tell me yes. And I'll say, if you're old enough to have an Instagram page, then you're old enough to have a LinkedIn page where you're showing. Absolutely, Alex. When you're showing your selfies on Instagram, then you can be showcasing your talents. On LinkedIn, if you've had a 1 week work experience, then put it on LinkedIn, follow some employers, ask them if they can, give you another opportunity. And that's how you build up your profile. And by the time you're 21 and finishing your CV.
So the LinkedIn side will be the very serious professional side of a young person, as opposed to the Instagram.
Absolutely. They need to have both, because there has to be a balance. And I'm not saying completely forget about your IG page. This is about making sure that as much as you're keeping up, with your social life, your career life, it needs to start at a very young age as well. I'll tell you this, Alex. Yesterday, I was going through my LinkedIn and I saw a post from a young girl. She just graduated from university, and she posted, I've just completed a 1 week course on leadership at Henley Business School, and see the number of likes. And, people were saying, I'll be more than happy to give you some work experience. And I thought, fantastic. This is how you showcase your talent.
Yeah. That's initiative. That's real initiative. That's really,
that's what I'm getting our young generation to start thinking about, and not just to put the focus around, social platforms. There's the professional platform where they can start to engage with professionals who will give them opportunity to build up their career and work experience as well.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I mean, it sounds like you've really got this thing thought out. You've really got this thing thought out. to helping young people, going back to 14 and 15-year-olds. So how do you get the parents on board? Because this is crucial. In order to help the kids navigate from that early age, how do you get the parents on board?
I have created a platform now whereby I'm reaching out to parents. We've got our first session coming up on Saturday, which is about it's about giving masterclass to position the young ones for career success. I'm also doing a one-to-one coaching session, mostly with graduates, and this I've been doing in the last 15 years. I am so passionate. The moment I hear, oh, somebody has just come out of uni, I'm asking questions. So what are you doing with yourself? Oh, someone will just say, oh, I've been looking on Indeed. And I'm like, no, you need to look at graduate platforms. You need to look at milk round platforms where you need to be, looking for opportunities that befits you as a graduate. So I've been doing coaching, and I know I've shared the 2 clips with you, just a couple of people that I've coached on a one-to-one, and they have both secured graduate roles. And you know what? That puts a smile on my face. So
okay, well, let me jump to those clips, because you did send those clips to me. So let me find them now. 2 young ladies. Yeah, let me jump off the scene here and let you talk about these ladies.
Hello everyone, my name is Henrietta Okindele, and I'm just here to talk briefly about my personal experiences after receiving coaching. It was one of the best things that could have happened to me. It was the first time that I'd considered applying for jobs in the world of investment management. I had no prior knowledge, no prior experience until I received the coaching. And once I did, I learned new key terms, new words, new vocabulary. I had a totally new mindset, an approach about myself, my self-confidence. It really just set me up to be able to be successful in my career. Wasn't only just professional development, but also that personal development. Like I mentioned, having confidence in yourself to, really put yourself forward for certain jobs is all the things that I received during the training. There was also a sense of family when I received the training. I didn't feel like an outsider or a stranger coming to learn new things. I felt like they really...
That's a great testimonial there.
That's what we want to do. It's about positioning them for career success.
That's an awesome testimonial. Why was she so different?
She's not, she's not different to any other graduate out there. She wanted to have a career, and it's all about preparation. When preparation meets opportunity, it's a match made in heaven. So that particular young graduate, she's well prepared and she wants it, and so she's got the right mindset as well. And for me, it's about making sure that we connect with as many graduates as possible out there and making sure that they're having a career success.
So what you're becoming then, you're becoming the go-to person for young people, from young graduates to come to the minute when they come out of university or during university.
Before, you've got to catch them young. So if you like, you can call me the career doctor or the career
doctor. Okay.
So we catch them young and we prepare them for the big world out there, because it's all good to have all the formal education. I've seen people with first class still at home for 2-3 years, and it's a real shame. So for me, getting them ready right from the age of 16, so that they have a clear career pathway. We're supporting them to get work experience. We're supporting them to get internship. And, by second year in university, they're applying for graduate roles. We're preparing them for the application process and supporting them through the interview process as well. And for me, by the time you come out of uni, you're not hanging around, straight into that opportunity.
So what do you consider are the most important 3 steps to take for a young person?
Well, for me, within the employment, having been in the employment space for over 2 decades, I've come across so many, young people who have the raw ingredients, but they just lack the structured approach. And it's about, and some of them, they lack the confidence and they don't have the career guidance of mentors who can give them the boost of confidence and prepare them, Some of them are like driverless cars and they're not in control of their career. Some have been advised to go and do project management, some have been advised to go and do IT, but then that's not where their strength lies. And for me, it's not about, this is the one that pays the most money. No, you've got to find a career that you're passionate about. And I work with the young people to identify what they're passionate about, where their strength lies, and then to then position them for the right opportunity. So
I think you just said it. I think you just said it there. You said it's not the careers that pay the most money or the jobs that pay the most money. And sometimes decisions are made based on the pay, especially going into the city sometimes.
Yes, you've got to make sure that it's not about, yes, we all go into certain careers because we want to make money, we want to pay our bills, but the key thing is about, have I got the right skill set to go into this career? One, am I passionate about this? Whether I get paid for this or not, will I do this job? And you've got to be able to satisfy those three things.
So what is it that, if we come from the other side, what is it that employers are really looking for in their new young graduates coming into their organizations? What are they looking for?
Just before I answer that, quickly, just to make sure that I respond to the last question, which is what are the things that are key in terms of what are the most. So one of them is put yourself out there. I've mentioned it earlier that our younger generation, they're spending a lot of time on social media. So you need to be out there showcasing your talents on LinkedIn, networking, which will answer your question as well in terms of what sort of people are, employers looking for. We need, people that are agile, people that are out there networking. The other point is having a career plan. People spend up to an average of 15 years in a formal education setting. And, despite the academic structured pathway, many are still unclear about the right choices for them. So it's about making sure that there's a clear career pathway in place for them. And, all this career pathway, you should have their work placement history right from the age of 15, possible internship, which, should help them to start building a realistic expectation of what the employment world is like. So my question to parents and to a lot of young people is, do they have a structured career plan in place, and how much time are they investing in their career? And, if they have, what are the investments they've made? You don't have to go onto a formal classroom setting. There are lots of virtual interactive platforms out there, which then takes me to the last question you asked me to say, what are employers looking for? We're looking, we recognize there's a shortage of leadership skills there. Leadership with emotional intelligence, that is absolutely key. If you've got you've got a lot of people with technical ability that, you can't question their technical capability. But when it comes to leadership, a lot of that is where we are failing our younger generation, because we've not invested in terms of their leadership capability.
So when you say leadership with emotional intelligence, what are you really talking about there?
In terms of emotional intelligence, it's about how, you're talking about, it's actually very, very deep. Not everybody, you're talking about IQ. You find a lot of people in terms of their level of intelligence, they're there. They are Cambridge geeks, they've got it there. But when it comes to emotion, the ability to recognize emotions, the ability to connect with people, a lot of leaders are missing out on this. And how do you develop this? There are lots of tools out there. Some people, they've got it's there naturally. For some people, it's about recognizing that actually I don't have emotional intelligence. How do I develop it? And this is a key leadership competency that many organizations are looking for. So you've got your IQ and you've got your EQ, and there's a massive gap around that. More than happy to share. I've got some tools around how do you build your level of emotional intelligence, which is what I've been using for some of the young graduates, so that when they're going for interviews, they're able to show that not only are they academically solid in terms of leadership capability with raw emotional intelligence, they've got it.
Wow. Wow. So we're looking for leaders. We need to build leaders who can connect with people very quickly, connect and understand people very quickly. But doesn't that come with years of work? Doesn't that come on the job itself?
No, this is something that you have to be intentional about. Okay. That that recognition. For people with high level of IQ, it's developed over time, isn't it? It's the ingredient is there, and if you want to build your IQ level, there are things that you need to do. You have to nurture it. The same thing goes with emotional intelligence. A young girl sat a profiling test with me, and she came up as a logical personality, and she came out very, very low on emotional intelligence. And she recognized that, even making, eye connection, she wasn't able to do that, and she's not a team player. The test was absolutely spot on. And for me, it's about making sure that we identify this in our young generation and start to develop, as much as we're developing their IQ, we're also working on their EQ as well, because they both work hand in hand, and that's what most employers are looking for.
Wow. So I'm going for an interview as a young person, and this interview is going to change my life. It's a career changer. How do I prepare for that interview? How do I prepare for a high-level interview as a young person?
Okay, for me, and I'm going to drop this phrase, when opportunity meets preparation. Most of our young ones, they are very, very intelligent. Some, they've got, they've done their MVQ, BTech, they've got their degrees. So they've, they know the structure to put in place to study hard. So what I say to them is, you've got to prepare as if you're going for an exam and that you want to ace it. Everything has got to be covered. You must not leave any stone untouched. So you must spend some time to know the in and out of the business, the sector that they operate, your skill set and how it relates to the role that you're applying for, what makes you stand out, what you're bringing to the table. You must position yourself as a leader who will take initiative and offer business solutions. You must be able to demonstrate commercial awareness, leadership capability. Also, you got to look at the culture fit as well, because, from my experience of recruitment over many years, many people have lost out on fantastic opportunities because they can't tick the box on culture fit. So all these things, you got to know the business in and out, even things like, okay, I'm going for an HR role, and you think it's not important to understand, the financials. Is absolutely important for you to know the business engine and for you to be able to demonstrate your commercial awareness. So these are the kind of key competencies. Leadership, that is so key. Commercial awareness, ability to be able to manage and respond to change. And then you've got to talk about culture as well. So these are the kind of raw ingredients that every graduate that you're going out there, we want to make sure that we start developing them. Some of the programs that are put together for them covers leadership. The other thing is about attitude. You're not going into an interview. Basic things is turning your phone off before you go into the interview. How you present yourself, just basic manners. All these are very, very important. The other point,
people go to an interview and don't turn their phones off.
I have seen it quite a number of times, and with our graduates, we have to remind them. We have to remind them that just before you get into the interview, you must turn your phone off. The other thing that I tell some of my graduates is your life depends on this interview, and you have to be authentic. You have to be the best of you on the day. And in this day, you've got to recognize when you're looking at the statistics, it's very difficult to secure interviews. And once you get an interview, oh my goodness, you must get the job. So you have to, prepare, just like you're preparing for your academic exams. That's what you need to do. Also I also say to them that there's no point in asking how many people are being interviewed. It is none of your business. It adds to your level of anxiety. So all you do is raise your A game and, position yourself really well on the day.
Right, let me go to a question from the public here. Let me just pull a question in from the public here. And I've got one question to you here that says, what drives your ambition for young people? You sound so ambitious for young people. What drives it?
For me, it's the struggles that I've seen with a lot of young people with so much potentials, and picking up someone who's been looking for work for 2 years and having a coaching session, and then they've had a number of interviews, and then after the coaching session, they give you a call to say, I got the job. And you're like, this is what I'm called to do. And that's one of the things that is driving me. And I sincerely, there's a massive gap out there. And I want to see many people, many of our young ones coming out of university and straight into a career, not just a job, a career that, that they're passionate about. Just to give some figures, 450 graduates were recruited at Barclays this year. Out of the 450 graduates, do you know how many applications will have gone into that? And it's about saying to my graduates, you have got to be one of the 450, and we're going to make sure that you get that job. So the struggles out there is so much. They spent a number of years to qualify, and we just cannot afford for them to just be sitting at home doing nothing, or just getting just a job to pay their bills.
Hey, and that's crucial. Just
Absolutely.
Getting a job to pay the bill. Do you know how many young people I've seen come out of university and gone to work for McDonald's? Not to say that McDonald's is not a job, but after working so hard for 3 or 4 years to then go and get stuck in McDonald's. That's a tragedy.
That is very sad, actually. It is, and the thing is, we can't sit back and just watch them do that to themselves. And that is where I want to make the change to say, for as many graduates are ready to have a career, I will be here for you. I'll be here to support you. A masterclass on Saturday is about giving them that insight into, you have got to position yourself for success from a very young age, and we're going to help you to map out that career plan.
Okay, you're a brilliant advertiser. You slipped that one in so nicely, so sweet. The masterclass on Saturday. Now, tell us about the masterclass. Give us the name. Give us where it's going to be, so everyone can hear about this masterclass that you're talking about.
Okay, the masterclass is on Eventbrite, and is going to be held via Microsoft Teams. It is a free online masterclass. And my intention is to use it as a platform to reach out to as many young people as possible, to interact with them, to find out what would they like from myself. I've come up with this idea to say, this is how I'm going to support you, but there may well be other things that they may want me to give them support on. So that is the whole essence of that masterclass. It's fully booked. I'm sorry.
Wow.
So it went, and within 2 days, it was,
It's fully booked.
It's fully booked. So
that's amazing.
I will share with you the website where you can look out for future events on the concluding part. So,
okay.
And is to have a 2 weekly masterclass to be able to reach out to all the young ones.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Within 2 days of putting this masterclass out, you were fully booked. That's to show you the demand that's out there of young people wanting to develop themselves and change their lives. That's amazing. Lola, that is amazing. Now, let me understand this. I'm a young person and I'm ambitious now. I'm ambitious. I've got the ambition kicking inside of me. When I go to an interview, do I make it obvious that I'm ambitious, or do I wait till I've passed the interview, got the job, and they see what I can do? When do I show that?
For me, when you've got passion in you, when you've got fire in your belly, it's very difficult to hide it. So what I say to my young ones is that it's important to focus on the job that you're being interviewed for. And employers, they do recognize potential stars right from the interview stage. However, the opportunity to showcase your ambition will come up, because most employers will ask you, where do you see yourself in 3 years' time? And this is the time to then show your appetite for growth and state that your intention is to make a success of the role that you're being interviewed for, and that you will develop your career within the organization, and then ask the employer if there's any opportunity for possible career progression. But it's very important that your focus is on the role that you're being interviewed for, and also to just slit it in nicely about your passion for growth and development.
Wow. So let me understand this now. So you're the career doctor in the middle. You're positioning people, and you're positioning their minds to step into these high level interviews. Now let me come from the other side and say, how would you like employers to respond to all the preparation work that you're putting into these young people? How would you like them to respond?
Well, it's like a relationship, really. It's like going on a date. Employers will see you, whether you're a 21-year-old, as far as they're concerned, you're there as a product to market yourself. So I will, give you an example. So if you present yourself as an outstanding brand that is reliable, that is efficient, that has all the ingredients, whether you're a 19-year-old or 21-year-old, they are there to, you're there to position yourself and say, I am the best for the job. So you're going to be treated just like any other person. However, for the young ones, it's about what brand am I showcasing? If I'm showcasing my brand as a Ferrari, and I'm asking that I deserve this package, then you should not shortchange yourself. It's about positioning, it's about branding. And for you to be able to have that top brand, you've got to be able to show that you've got the skill set, you've got the development, you've got the passion, you've got the ambition.
Wow, man. No one ever told me that when I was younger, some 30, 40 years ago, this kind of information was not coming out to young people, or coming out, to our generation, advising us about how to navigate the corporate ladder. And we, sometimes I think we stumble into things sometimes, and we push ourselves. But this is amazing. This is amazing stuff that you're pushing out, Lola, about how to help young people position their minds. And you've not left out the parents. You talked about how to help the parents. You've now put together a masterclass. So we're not talking about things just happening by accident here. You are very intentional about what you want to happen. What kind of results do you want to see over the next 5 years?
For me, it's about as many graduates I can reach out to. We're going to be running the masterclass. We're going to be having one-to-one coaching. The ones that I've been able to get them at the early stage, I'm mapping out their career plan for them. We're writing to organizations and positioning them for internship, so that on a yearly basis, even if it's just a 2-day internship, for them to have the exposure into what the world of employment is, and to be able to make an informed decision in terms of what career do I want to go into. If it's in the financial industry, do I want to do asset management, or do I want to go into corporate banking? What do I want to do? And it's about getting them to have an understanding of the employment landscape and to have the experience so that they can make an informed decision. So for the next 5 years, regular coaching session, going out there, engaging with all the young ones. I'm getting every single one of them to sign up to LinkedIn. And also there's a virtual interactive platform which helps to develop their capability around project management, around leadership, around communication skills. So I've got all the kind of tools in place to support our young generation.
Wow. You're raising an army of young people, an army, as who's it? Yemisi talks about high achievers. You're raising an army of high achievers in our world. This is amazing stuff. Now, all this information pouring out of you, Lola, all this information, have you written a book, Lola?
Not yet, and I believe there are seasons for everything. The season to create the platform to reach out to the young ones and doing it full time. This is the season for that, and I know that the season will come when I'll be able to write a book to be able to share my experiences. So when that season comes, I'm sure I'll be back talking to you.
Wow, so this is all the groundwork. You're laying the groundwork, building the platforms, building the agenda, and connecting with the millions of young people out there for helping them to position their minds. Now, you can't believe it that, we have already done over 40 minutes of just talking about positioning mindsets, and we didn't even realize how much the time has disappeared. That's how much you've been enjoying it.
Some messages, Alex. I still have a couple of things to cover. Okay. I respect the timing the people have given to this talk show. So I will.
Okay, no, I'm not going to cut you off now. I'm not going to cut you off. No, I never cut people off. But I'm saying, is there? Let's wrap in wrapping this up. What would you want to say to the young people out there in wrapping this up? What would you want to say to them?
Okay, no one should be ashamed to seek professional help in order to help them to navigate their way in the world of employment. Be it around confidence, be it around structuring their thoughts in terms of, how to respond to interviews, or even be it around, complete some of those hard competency-based interview questions. There is, come and talk to me, and I'll be able to work with you to support you and offer my professional help. And parents need to understand that as much as you're offering that extra tuition to support your child who needs to who needs some additional support on mathematics, the same level of support is required to support them to build their career plan. So it's about, for me, I want to share the message that we need to take personal responsibility for acquiring and continuously updating our skills, not just the young ones, but for the adults as well, because it's about how do you position yourself for career success. There are lots of virtual training platforms available out there. You need to invest in yourself and take responsibility for your personal development. Most businesses are growing at a fast pace, and unfortunately, they're not paying the same level of attention to the growth and development of their workforce. And that's why you will see a lot of businesses going out there to recruit new talents when they could be growing your own. So my challenge to you as professionals, the young ones, is you need to take responsibility for your own development. It doesn't have to be going to a university to have a 4-year degree. All these mini coaching sessions, virtual interactive coaching platforms, they offer some fantastic insights into the real world of business. I've passed my time in the corporate world, and I've decided to take a plunge and create this new venture. The business is called Clarity Port. It's a business management, business and HR consultancy. There are many strings to my bow. Our offerings are to business and corporate clients, institutions and individuals. And some of the things we offer will be around outsourced HR functions. So as an entrepreneur, you need to make sure that your HR function, you've got all the relevant things out there that you need. So if there's anyone who's running a business, these are the areas we can support you, supporting on transformational projects. Given the current economic climate, a lot of businesses they're struggling, they're on their knees. So these are areas that we can support you. So in terms of further details, you can go onto our website, which is www.clarityport.com. We will be taking inquiries. We are taking inquiries now, but the business will not be officially launching until the first week in October. So that's me for now. Thank you everyone for your time.
Wow. Clarity Port will not be launching until October. But in the meantime, she's got masterclasses running to change your life. So Clarity Port is you. Am I right?
It is me. I am the brain behind it. And for any parents who's got a graduate that's just finishing uni and they haven't got a structure to looking for work, get them to come and chat to me. We're here to help you. We're here to, to support them in their career journey.
This is amazing. It's amazing spending this time talking to you about how to help young people position their minds. And I'm sitting there and thinking that, there are so many people in the workplace who probably feel stuck themselves, stuck in what they've been doing. And everything that you've mentioned, they haven't even tackled 20% of that to help change their lives. So the information that you're putting out is not just for young people positioning themselves in the marketplace. It's for people who've been out there for years, toiling.
It is for everyone, and we can all, developing yourself is a journey. If you remember many years ago, where you have people, typists, and it's their job to just use the typewriter to type.
Typing pools, that's right, there was typing pools.
Yes, their jobs are long gone, and just imagine somebody saying, "Oh, that's my job." They won't be able to find any job out there. And it's about recognizing that we've got to change and grow with technology. And that's my question and my challenge to every professional out there, to say the job that you've got at the moment, it's with the development of robotics and artificial intelligence, it's going to be changing.
Wow.
Look, many years ago, digital marketing, you've got YouTubers, you've got so many roles evolving. So it's about, there's nothing wrong in transitioning from your current role into other roles.
Lola, you're making me nervous myself now, Lola. You're making me nervous to think that with artificial intelligence, a robot could be doing the work that I do. A robot could be sitting here interviewing people, talking to people. This is amazing. If you think about it, the world has moved so fast in the last, 50 years, 40 years? It's a very short space of time that we're talking about since we've moved from probably industrialization, computerization, information, computer technology, and now we're talking about artificial intelligence in our workplaces, taking over professional roles. That's amazing.
It is amazing. And, I've had some stories about, because I went for a session and then we were talking about, the use of robotics in the healthcare industry. And I understand that they're actually using robots to perform C-sections.
Wow.
I'm thinking, oh God, yes, our lovely, nurses, they're doing an amazing job. You can't replace a midwife with a robot, but these are the things.
Precision.
We live in now.
So today we've been talking about leadership. Today we've been talking about changing your attitude, developing your attitude. Today we've been talking about commercial awareness. The biggest one today is emotional intelligence. Because there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of people who have the degrees, they have the qualification, but they haven't developed their emotional intelligence. And we're talking about transformation here, transforming people's minds, transforming their mindsets into the type of people to excel in their careers and excel in their jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for listening with us today. The Mrs. Talk Show. I want to thank Lola for coming on, man, because this has been an amazing chat. You know, the time has just blown us away. But you know what? I'm keeping tabs of you, and I'm keeping tabs. So the next 12 months, I'll be looking to see what's exploded around the country through Clarity Port and what you're doing. Okay, that's a promise.
I'll be delighted to come back and share some success stories, especially around the graduates. I will want the opportunity to be able to showcase these graduates to see, just show the things that they've been able to achieve. So thank you very, very much for your time.
And it's probably fitting then to have one more graduate that you provided, and it's probably fitting to close out the show with this one testimony from Lola's candidate. Let me just bring it to you.
The coaching support that I received was absolutely invaluable. If you're a graduate that has come out of uni and are looking for a position, or you're looking for help, definitely take up this coaching. I found it so helpful. I hadn't had any prior knowledge of interviews in the corporate space or in a corporate industry. This was the first time I was going into a graduate role or like an actual job. And with the coaching, I was able to get support on the application process. I was able to get support on interviews as well. I had mock telephone interviews or mock questions that I was asked to help me prepare for what an actual interview would be like, something that I didn't have prior to the coaching. And I was able to build up confidence not only in myself but in the styles of questions and the way I answered the questions, which is invaluable. And through that, I was able to get my dream job as a technical consultant. And I wouldn't have been able to get this job if it wasn't for the coaching, if I didn't know how to navigate an interview process. And the coaching really did help, even with the little things like what to wear to an interview, how to style your hair, how to look presentable and be taken seriously. These were all things that I picked up in the coaching sessions, and I strongly recommend that any graduate that is looking for any type of support to break into a graduate role, this is the coaching for you. The coaching support that
Thank you for tuning into the Message Talk Show with Alex Gordon and Lola. Lola, come just say goodbye one more time.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for having me.
And we're closing out the show now with my favorite tune. Miss the show, you got to be on this show.